Not feeling brilliant today, but I thought I'd give it a go. Okay, hopefully it'll be okay, but if I make a few mistakes, I do apologise. Radio today is all about change management and business requirements and the link between the two. I think that gathering business requirements is a critical phase in any project as it lays the foundation for successful project execution and delivery. It involves things like understanding what a system or product or solution needs to do to meet the needs of those who will be using or affected by it. The process is crucial for ensuring that the final deliverable aligns with stakeholder expectations and business objectives. This aspect is normally handled by business analysts, or BAs in short, who often lead the elicitation and documentation of these requirements. But to an extent, they are normally technically focused. So the danger there is that the requirement will lean toward technical rather than a true business requirement. So stakeholders such as project managers and project owners ensure alignment with project goals and user needs. Effective gathering of business requirements relies on collaboration and communication between BAs and stakeholders. But I think there's a missing link. There's a link somewhere, which is that of the change manager, who can address the technical issue with more of a focus on the business as opposed to the technical side of things. The technical versus business bias, business analysts, BAs, call them what you want, tend to be more technically, as I said, technically orientated, or at least solution orientated, mainly because their training and their mindset often gravitate towards how things will work rather than why they need to work in a specific way. Even when BAs are skilled at eliciting business requirements, they're often under pressure from IT, vendors, or time constraints to quickly translate those requirements into functional and technical specifications. This can lead to what I call requirement creep toward the system, which is where business requirements get unconsciously reframed to fit what is technically feasible or already on the table. The missing link, as I said, the change manager lens. Yeah. So what is it? A change manager can actually play a critical role here, but it's a role that is almost underutilized in any phase of the project. A change manager's focus is typically on things like the human and operational impact. How will this requirement change workflows, roles, and stakeholder behaviors? The alignment with business outcomes. Does this requirement help achieve the intended organizational benefits, or is it just a nice to have technical feature? Then comes stakeholder adoption and usability. Is this something people will actually use effectively, or are we designing for technical elegance rather than practical application? In other words, the change manager keeps on pulling the conversation back to what's the real business outcome we're trying to achieve here, and how will people interact with it. This is especially critical when business requirements are being gathered in a workshop setting, because you often see the discussion is dominated by IT feasibility or system capability, with the human and operational reality being kind of glossed over. So look for a combined approach, okay? I'd argue for a triad model in requirements gathering, which looks like this. The business analysts translate needs into structured, technically feasible requirements. The project manager or product manager ensures alignment with scope, budget and delivery goals. And then the change manager challenges assumptions, keeps the focus on business value, adoption and real world impact. When these three collaborate from the start, you reduce the risk of building something that's technically brilliant but operationally bloody useless. So should change managers be involved early? Absolutely yes, and importantly, earlier than they typically are involved. Too often change managers are brought in after requirements are finalised, at which point it's too damn late to influence the fundamental design of the solution. If the change manager is at the table during requirements elicitation, they can challenge that technical bias by asking, how does this solve the actual business problem? They can spot early adoption risks like overly complex processes, unrealistic expectations of user behaviour, and then they can ensure that the business benefits outlined in the business case, if there is one, are actually traceable to the requirements being gathered. So in my eyes, the change manager is the missing link in most requirements gathering processes. Their presence should ensure that the business in business requirements doesn't get lost in the noise of technical possibilities. Have I convinced you? I hope so. So, within my timescales again, listen, I'm still getting some good, slow but good results for my Sunday SoundBytes. They're going up exponentially, So how about checking some of the others out on my YouTube channel and also subscribing to my YouTube channel and get notified when I have a new Sunday SoundByte. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon.